I'm just gonna.
We don't have a theme song yet.
No, we don't.
Oh, welcome
What's that?
to Popcorn and Regret.
Yeah, I like that.
Hello, and welcome to the third episode we recorded this week.
Yeah.
But the only one you'll hear.
Yeah, the only one you'll hear.
we have recorded half an hour, and then our recording software crashed, and then we recorded a whole episode, and then click save, and then it crashed.
It was just terrible.
So needless to say, we're using a different recording software now. So hopefully you'll hear this one.
Yeah, hopefully you will. My God.
Just up top.
It really defeated the motivation to do one afterwards.
Yeah,
to go through two failed episodes.
We're filming. We're also filming this, but just for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Tuesday, so it's probably going to get posted
same day
straight away.
Yeah.
So that's fun because we're going to try and we'll keep to every Tuesday, and then nearly fucked it up on the first week.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah. I mean, just up top, I scoured the internet for some movie news.
You did.
There's not a lot going on, because no films are getting made currently.
Because of that word that we cannot use.
But
ends in 19.
But you'll be sad to know, James, there was rumours of a trailer coming out any moment now. But you will not be seeing Venom 2 this year, James.
Not Venom 2.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in October, but it is literally, as I was finding news to put at the start of this episode, so it's fresh off the press. We got here before Unilad posted an article about it. We're way ahead of it.
We are.
It's been delayed from October the 2nd this year to June 25th, 2021.
Wow, that's pretty far.
It is. I thought
that's more than a year away now.
It would be safe, surely, in October. Or maybe they just want something else to have its spot, but it's very weird. But
they've got a lot of reshooting to do or something. Like they still have shooting to do, and they need the time because that's more than a year ago.
Have you seen the set photos of Woody Harrelson and have you seen the first Venom?
I have seen the first one.
Have you seen the wig that Woody Harrelson wears? It's incredible. It's slightly better, but it's still awful. He's just got kind of a ginger buzz cut and a Hawaiian shirt.
I don't suppose you could bring up an image so I could have a look.
I mean, it's an audio medium, so
it is an audio medium, but they would get my guttural reaction to Woody Harrelson and his hair.
But the other thing I wanted to share with you is the title. They're giving it a title. It's Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, that is the title.
That's bad.
That's what they've officially called it. Woody.
They couldn't have called it something better, like Venom, or just Carnage. Call it Carnage. Fuck it, Venom 2 Carnage.
Oh, hear me out.
Or Venom 2. Carnage.
Oh, hear me out. Venom 2.
There you go. Boom. You know what you're getting. You're getting the second
Venom movie. The Woody Harrelson. Carnage.
It's kind of a trend nowadays to have superhero films where it doesn't say 2, or 3, or 4. It's just Batman, The Dark Knight, 4. Ragnarok. He looks. I don't know what he looks
Woody
like.
Harrelson doesn't suit hair. When you're a man who is, it's like Bruce Willis coming out, just in a full.
Afro.
Remember
An afro.
Hunger Games? Woody Harrelson's hair in the Hunger Games.
Not really, because I didn't really watch those films.
He had
I do know
curtains. Yeah. That's another thing. They're making a prequel movie. So.
To the Hunger Games.
Yeah, they're making it. There is a prequel book coming out. So it is.
God.
So
let it die.
That franchise
wasn't even that good.
I didn't watch them all. Okay, so Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
It's a year away, James.
Well, fucking good. Quite frankly, let it be a year away with hair like that.
There's a bunch of other movies that have been delayed. That's most of the news I have for you is that movies have been delayed. Movies I'd never really knew were coming out. There's a Sopranos prequel movie.
Yeah, there is. I heard about that.
That was supposed to be coming out September. It's now coming out March next year.
I suppose with an ending like Sopranos had, you couldn't do, unless it was just fucking the main character in limbo, which brave take for a film I would love. I would love that. Just an Italian mobster trying to get out of limbo. Hey, get me out of here.
Have you heard of Will Smith's King Richard?
What?
No, literally, as I read this article,
what's that even mean?
Never heard of it.
What are those
mean
words?
The Shakespeare?
Yeah.
King Richard? I don't know, but
is it a serious like?
I haven't heard anything about this movie, and nor will I, because it's been delayed from November this year to November next year. It's been delayed a whole year to get our Will Smith King Richard action. Whatever it is.
I mean, that's disappointing to hear. Sorry, we're having microphone issues at the moment, folks.
Right. Yeah. So King Richard. What a shame that's been delayed. But there was also an article for a bunch of the DC movies had been moved.
Right.
Okay, but the main story isn't that the DC movies have been moved. Like, someone saw that happen. Wonder Woman isn't moving. That's staying in August.
Good.
Suicide Squad isn't moving. That's August next year. That's fine.
Who cares?
The Batman has been delayed for 4 months.
I don't know what to say about that.
I see. I've got a lot of friends who are really excited for it, but I'm just kind of not on board. I just feel like
I don't know what they're
gonna
do. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I've got no problem with Robert Bat playing.
Yeah, I
it.
don't mind.
Whatever. Like, he'll probably be good. It's probably why they cast him.
There's a lot of different
I just don't
interpretations.
think. It looks more like it's doing a Dark Knighty type thing again, of like it's realistic, and it's kind of like, well, we had that 10 years ago.
If I
like, we
had to
don't need it again.
guess, I'd say they're going for a loose interpretation of like year one.
Yeah, but that's what Batman Begins was.
Kind of, though. It was kind of year one.
Yeah, but I mean, they're always kind of something. Like, they're always like, oh, we're inspired by
Exactly.
this comic arc.
Can't
but
you
it's
just
it
do
never
it?
really
Like, I
is.
don't
that
get
comic.
it.
But also, people are thinking it's also going to be the Long Halloween because a bunch of the characters from that comic book arc are in it. There's like a bunch of villains that's supposed to be in it.
You know they're going to do an origin story. You know that, right?
Of course they will. Have they fucking put an origin story in the Joker movie?
They couldn't help themselves.
They
It
couldn't.
wasn't even about him.
I couldn't. I saw Bruce Wayne and the Waynes walk out of the cinema, and I was like,
Well, here it comes.
here it comes. You could have implied it. That would have still annoyed me that you even felt like you had to imply it, but you just went and you showed it again.
Yeah.
Homecoming and the Tom Holland Spider-Man. I don't think they've ever actually said the words Uncle Ben, because they just know you get it at this point, and it doesn't need to be said.
It's weird because tonally, that's wrong for like the Joker film. Like, you're meant to think Bruce Wayne's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's a child.
Yeah. Fuck that kid. Kill him. Phoenix.
Yeah, he's supposed to think
I'm not
Thomas
gonna
Wayne's
say
an
his last name.
asshole. So why show it? Is it supposed to be cathartic that he dies, or are you
I
supposed
think
to
it's
sympathise with him, or-
just because they were like, oh, and that's how Batman was created. They're not trying to say anything with it.
But
they're just putting
movie
it
that,
in, which is terrible for a film that is so, quite precise about how it views things,
and it's
shows
very
things.
standalone.
And they're just like, it's like the reverse of like Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One.
Mhm.
That was a great random addition they threw in at the end.
Yeah.
This feels like a terrible random addition.
That makes sense though, because
yes, that's
Darth
why it's
Vader
good. That's
was
what I mean.
Darth Vader is in the timeline of Star Wars. He's there.
Yeah.
But
And it's
he's
perfect.
around at that time.
It's perfect. It works.
But you're making a Joker movie where Joker's origin is completely independent of Batman, which, depending on what origin you believe of the Joker, is normally quite tied to Batman. So to have a Joker who's being created while Batman's fucking 7, and then still try and shoehorn Batman's origin into it, it's just kind of like, this Joker's never gonna fight Batman. He's just
He'll
a
be
guy.
like Jack Nicholson by the time he fights Batman.
Yeah.
In which, when they fight, he's just gonna beat the living shit out of him.
I know
he's
the
a
Joker.
6-year-old man.
Joker doesn't have any superpowers unless there's some versions where he's like immortal. Anyway, but he's just a guy. But like
He's still a guy that's good at fighting.
Heath Ledger was implied to be a soldier or something. Like he had tactical knowledge.
There was something.
There was something about him.
They left it ambiguous.
Nicholson was chemical and all comic booky.
But he still was just. And I mean,
guess Leto never really came across as the Batman other than he ran away.
Even in the Nicholson one, they didn't shy away from the fact that he's just a fucking pensioner. Like, he just gets his ass kicked at the end.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. The Joker's like, please don't beat me up, and then he beats the shit out of him.
Jared Leto is a gangster Joker. I did quotation marks.
That's
it's
so
not
funny.
very good, but that they make it clear that he's
so
got
fug. Look at all his tattoos.
yeah,
It's like,
but they're like
please,
he's
stop. Everyone
he's
in the
got
world
gangs,
wants you to
he's got
stop.
people working for him, he's got this, he's
Fucking
got
that's so
guns, he's got
bad.
whatever,
So
he's
bad.
got helicopters. But with Walking Phoenix, he's just a sick, sad man
He is.
who laughs.
Anorexic.
A sick, sad, anorexic man who uncontrollably laughs and was mentally insecure enough to kill Robert De Niro. If Batman existed in that universe, like, if a big gust of wind's gonna take Arthur Fleck away,
It's awful.
we've massively derailed from what even
Unless,
we were
like,
talking about. That's Robert Pattinson.
Arthur Fleck hits the fucking gym every day until Batman's grown
Until
up.
he's Arthur Flex.
Until he's like... just fucking jacked, a jacked 60-year-old. Even a
Mm.
jacked 60-year-old though couldn't beat up Batman. Because how old is he in that? Is he meant
What
to
is
what
Joaquin
early
Phoenix?
30s?
Yeah, surely.
He's meant to be
I mean,
like
he doesn't look well. He
he
could be
doesn't.
17,
He could be honest.
but you know, society got to him.
He did big
Uh-huh.
time in a society. I can't believe that there was all those society jokes
Mhm.
going on, and then
In the
Joker
movie,
came
he
out and he
says it.
says in a society.
I don't blame the movie for that because obviously they didn't know that was
Well,
going to happen.
it's
But I'm
also
just like,
fucking
I'm
the
just
point
like,
of the
wow.
film. It's a socio-economic film with like
What,
the mythos of
what
Joker
do you get when you
slapped over
get
it.
society? Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in the last episode, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very good movie. So yeah, the Robert Pattinson movie is gonna
Could
be
be
delayed.
good. Probably won't.
It's coming out
I'm
on
saying it.
similar time as Doctor Strange 2.
Not saying a bit about Batman. Yeah, Doctor Strange 2. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, is his bat symbol made out of guns?
Sorry.
That's the theory, that Robert Pattinson's bat symbol is made out of the gun that killed his parents. He's like cut it in two and made it into a bat.
What?
Yeah, that's
Doesn't make any sense.
yeah, that's the prevailing, that's the main theory.
What? What? So like he saw like a piece of macaroni art and he was like, I'm gonna do this but with a gun. Let me just cut up this gun.
Well, to be honest, his suit
Look,
is
Mum. It
to be honest,
shows her at
his
the
suit
grave.
is made out of tagliatelle. To be fair,
Fucking, yeah. The strongest pasta there is.
So yeah, so that's been delayed.
That's why the Sicilian Mafia was so good. They were just covered in tagliatelle under their suits. Bulletproof.
Johnny, you're bleeding. No, it's okay. It's just tomato sauce.
He opens up his like suit. He's like, it's just bolognese.
It's the bolognese.
Just coming out.
Did you remember that the Black Adam movie existed?
Yeah, I do. Because Dwayne the Rock Johnson is posting about it on his Instagram.
It's still coming out next December for Christmas.
I don't feel like this is a good idea. It's not really. It doesn't.
I don't know a lot about Black Adam. I only
Okay.
really know him from the Injustice games.
He's like a bad guy though.
Yeah, he is
he's
a
not
bad
an
guy.
anti-hero. He's a bad guy.
He's the, you know how most superheroes have your Venom or someone who is like the flip coin version.
He is, yeah.
He's the flip.
He's
Shazam.
I believe the story, at least in the comics, is that he's an ancient Egyptian king, and then he gets.
He got the
magic or some
power
shit.
of Shazam and then abused it.
But
And then obviously they
he
later
doesn't
give it to Billy
transform
Batson.
into a child or anything. He's just
No, no, that's not necessary. It just so happens that they gave the powers to
To a
Billy,
child,
To a
so-
child. But it's not like criteria of him
Oh.
just going like, oh, there's so many good people, but all the children are pricks.
yeah.
Yeah. So that movie's apparently happening still. I forgot it was existing. Did you know that there was a DC Super Pets animated film coming out? Your
No,
Cryptos,
but
your whatever the bat dog's called.
You
Can't
know-
remember
you
his
know
name.
what'd be weird if it's done in like with real dogs. That'll freak me
Like
out.
it's cats and dogs style.
Yeah,
I'm on board for that.
like all of the
It does say
the
Animation
live
Studios,
action
so
quote
I
unquote.
include it isn't.
Like
I
Disney
think it's
films.
a TV show. I think there is a show and now they're making a movie of it. I don't know.
Well,
I'm 22,
Yeah,
so I don't
I'm not
watch
gonna-
it.
You know what? This is gonna blow you away, and I'm not gonna watch it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch Shazam 2, which is due in November 2022?
I honestly don't know if I'll give a fuck.
I mean, Shazam 1 was okay.
I feel
It was
like
okay.
movies are heading downhill more than anything.
I mean,
There's an oversaturation of these sort of films.
yeah. I mean, that always happens whenever there's a height of something. Like, you know, there's
Yeah, but was
like
there
the
ever
death
like
of the
a,
cowboy movies and stuff was.
was
because
there a
there's 50 million
hype
of them.
like
No, the
like
superhero
Die
genre
Hard?
is the biggest
or Terminator?
genre that's ever
know?
really been. Well, Terminator isn't a genre. It's just a franchise.
But it's robots. It's killer
yeah,
robots.
but I mean, there's
Was
like,
there a big hype around killer robots at the time?
because we're kind of at a time where the dark reboots have finally died, which is nice.
Yeah, that is good.
But
That is
but
really
they would
good.
that was what everything was, because
Talk about
as
dark
long as
reboot.
one thing
Go ahead.
is massive,
Yeah.
all Hollywood sees
Is
is,
money.
oh, we need to do it. Deadpool, big success, so they're like, right, make Logan 15, that worked out, or R-rated, that worked out. But then you got things like, oh, we'll make Birds of Prey a 15, which is what killed it.
Mm.
Is what made that film bomb, because it was an okay film, but it had no need for it to be a 15, and that obviously cuts a lot of your audience. Venom was a 15 in the UK, but it still did great business. But that was I worked at a cinema at the time, and it was just a lot of like parents coming with their 6-year-olds going 2 tickets to Venom. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I'm with them. I'm like, I'm glad you're spending time with your kids, but that's just, it's not how it works. I did have, I've left that job
How
now,
does
it's
that
fine.
work? How does it work?
What do you mean?
How does it work?
How does
Why
what
couldn't
work?
they get into the cinema?
Oh, because they're not, the only certificate that is okay for you to have a parent come with you is 12A or PG-13 in America. If it's
Oh.
if it's R-rated or a 15-18, then you have to be that age.
Really?
I did have one dad and a kid beat me in that game when it came to Venom, because he just came at me so quick and was just like, here's your tickets. I was like, oh, screen free, fucking out, and off he went. And by the time I twigged that there was like a 7-year-old with him, I'd seen Venom at that point and knew that there wasn't anything bad in it. He bites some heads off screen,
Yeah.
and that's apparently enough for it to be
It's not
15.
bad.
And I was like, you know what,
He does say turd though.
he does say turd.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but
Watch out.
12As are allowed one fuck,
Wow.
depending if they haven't used too many of other swear words. This is something that I found myself in a rabbit hole once.
Really?
Most 12As are allowed one fuck. It's The World's End, the Edgar Wright movie, Edgar Wright, Sam Pegg and Nick
Is
Frost
that a
movie.
12A?
No, it's a 15. But my point was being in the audio commentary I listened to, because I'm that sort of person. Edgar Wright, the director, talked about how he had to send many letters to the ratings boards to be like, how many times can I use the word cunt?
Yeah.
How many times am I allowed before it becomes an 18? And they were like, oh, 7. And he was like, cool. So he worked the script to find the 7 best times to
Wow.
use it, and was like, get the most out of it. But yeah, I don't think it was the word turd. Anyway, yeah, those people went past, and I was like, you know what, you win. You can see it. So yeah, Shazam 2 is still happening, and then a month later, when you've still got the taste of Shazam 2 in your mouth,
Yeah, that'd be good.
you
That's what I want in my mouth.
you can have Aquaman 2.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
With
the
or
first
without
one.
Amber Heard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hated the first one. I hated it.
Honestly, I feel like
Right.
I feel
You're right,
like
James.
DC films are gonna die, and so are Marvel films. I think they're gonna have to really change up the formula in which they make them, or they're just gonna die.
I don't think Marvel films are close to dying. You're right that they will, because everything will. But I think
they will. I think it's going to turn from films to TV shows, and I understand that change, and I think that change will keep.
I think that's the way Star Wars is going, and I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Was that the movies have started? I mean, Rise of Skywalker did well, but not nearly as well as Last Jedi or Force Awakens, and Solo bombed. So they're kind of going like, oh, we'll just kind of pivot to TV shows for a bit. Marvel's covering their ass with that, because they're doing TV shows while they're still big.
And that's good.
So they're kind of covered. I mean, obviously the Netflix shows, your Jessica Jones, your Daredevil stuff, aren't canon anymore, or they are, but they're just never going to address them, and they're gone. But they're doing things on Disney Plus. I do think that they will both die. You're right, but I think Marvel's still pretty healthy. Maybe has a slight cough, but DC's missing most of its limbs.
I think much in the way that the Disney remakes will go. I feel like they'll drop big in quality, but not in numbers, and eventually that will catch up with them. Because I think, at the end of the day, it's word of mouth that's the best advertisement. And if people think that Lion King and Aladdin weren't good, I know you think it's good. Before you say
I said I think Aladdin is okay.
I think eventually it's going to be like catch up with them. It'll be like it'll be so notorious, because families will be like, I'm going to go take my kids to Lion King, and then someone in the family will be like, I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, word of mouth is super powerful, but I think word of mouth clearly didn't affect the Lion King. We saw it; it made so much
because
money.
it didn't come out. You know, they had these remakes and they worked, because some of them are okay.
Mhm.
Some of them.
I think you give a lot of the general movie-going audience, the ones that aren't like tied into it as much. I think you give. Not to sound rude, but I think you give them too much credit.
Yeah.
A lot of people will just see a movie. They don't think about it too much. It's just something that's on, or they've vaguely heard about it, which is why they make remakes all the time, because that's half your job. Make the Lion King instead of making a new IP, because so many people are going to go, oh well, I like the Lion King, and that's enough to get a lot of people
And
in.
that is good advertisement.
That's
You know what's a good question, Adam?
Mhm.
And maybe this is too highbrow for this podcast, but I'm going to go say it.
We're a very highbrow.
Oh, we're very slow. Ha poo poo. Ha Fucking hell. I think art. What do you think? Like, art should be then, in general.
I think art should be.
Yep.
In terms of films or in terms of everything?
Everything, because I think art is best when it pleases someone. It doesn't have to engage.
I
don't even think it has to engage in thought. I really don't.
No.
I think it can just be pleasing. If you look at a fine art piece,
Yeah.
a lot of people say, "Oh, fucking modern art shit."
Yeah.
But if you
I'm
look
not
at
big
something,
into general art.
if you say something like,
Mhm.
you look at like a big art piece. I remember there's a really good piece I saw recently at the Tate. That's
He's flexing right now. He
yeah,
took his shirt off.
that's a.
He showed me. He showed
Oh,
me
I'm
his
ripping it
tattoo.
off.
You know, in Prison
Uh,
Break, the guy who has the map of the
Yeah.
prison on him. You have the map of the
The
Tate.
Tate, yeah.
The Tate. Just the whole of the Tate Modern on
There's
your
just
chest.
it's a gallery, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to explain what the Tate is.
Yeah. Gallery in London.
It's there's a room just full of smoke with different coloured lights in it.
That's sick, boy.
But it's so dense, the smoke, this hallway, and it goes on for a while. It's like the length of the Tate.
Mhm.
It's very long. You walk through it, and the smoke is so dense you can't see your arms in front of you. Like if you stretch your arm out, you
Uh-huh.
can see like the beginning of your shoulder, and that's it. And so it's like you're just walking through this hallway with no sound, and just colour. Your whole vision's just changing colour.
Okay.
And then is it saying anything? No, it's not saying how we don't see race.
No, but the
and
thing is,
sex.
if you
It's like,
ask,
shut
but
up,
if you
no, it's
ask
not.
people, they'll say that's what it does.
It's because they're projecting. Them.
Yeah, that's all art really is.
All that room was it was fucking cool, and sometimes that's all it has to be.
People can
Lion
people
King-
find what they want. From
Lion
it.
King was fucking cool. It was really cool CGI and visuals, even though it was shit. And I stand by the fact that it was shit.
Yeah, no, shit. I like literally. There's so many different levels. When I look at like movies that I like put into high esteem and in my own like personal lists or whatever, it can vary massively from just something that like in my top 5 films of all time, Monsters Inc.'s in there. Is it saying something super profound? No. Does it just make me happy every time I watch it? And if I'm ever sick, I want to watch Monsters Inc. Yes.
I think
But
there's a
but then you've got something like Parasite, which is phenomenal movie, but I don't want to watch that all the time because it would just depress me. But in an artistic quote unquote sense, it's saying a lot more
Has more
than
value,
Monsters Inc.
yeah.
is saying. But I don't think they're of any kind of different value. They're just sitting in different boxes.
You know what? I think I have to disagree. Actually, I think Monsters Inc. does have value.
No, I was
because-
saying the Monsters Inc. does have. I was saying that they.
not
I wasn't
same as
saying that
artistic
they had
value.
different
That's
value.
what I mean. Because I think it does. I think it tells a conventional and kind of deep tale that I wouldn't attribute it to the hero's journey. People talk about that all the time,
Yeah, it's the
but
classic.
I can't remember the beats of.
I don't think Monsters Inc. does adhere to the hero's journey.
But it has
as
a
much.
journey, and it has a message about, looking after someone, and it's got themes.
If you strip movies down, there. I do screenwriting as my degree, well as part of it, and I can't remember the name of what this is.
Just
but
to
it's
clarify, I do animation.
There's basically these lists, these points that every script, if you boil it down for every movie, follows these same rules. So a skeletal structure, Parasite and Monsters Inc. to some extent are the same movie. It's the skin and the bone and the muscle that you put on top of that, which makes it
A lion
different-
or a human.
makes it a Donald Glover sounding lion or a Korean man.
Or a Donald Trump.
Yeah. It's the
I was just thinking of two
it's
Donalds.
it's strip things down. Stories are kind of all the same, at least in terms of movies, because I can't really talk about art or a lot of other forms of art because I don't have that much knowledge.
I think you could.
But I think the main point is, you can enjoy what you want to enjoy. People will probably disagree with you on some things, and people will probably agree with you on other things. But I think all art is what you want it to be, and it should just be something that makes you happy or something that makes you think something you want to think. And
I agree.
in terms of the last film I made at university, there was a meeting that I wasn't at because the director said the screenwriter wasn't needed, and the lecturers had an argument for 10 minutes about what the script meant, and they had all these different ideas of what the story was. Then I came into the next meeting and went, that's not
Yeah.
even vaguely what I meant.
Yeah.
But if that's what they think it is, that's what they think it is. So it's just, everyone sees things different ways, and I think that's okay. That being said, Aquaman isn't a good movie.
It isn't. I think that's why people can have detailed opinions about art and about
Mhm.
about art, yeah. Because you can
you can enjoy
because
things
if you
in
know
different
how
levels.
you engage and you know what it makes you think, and what you take from the art, then you can start to build a pattern of what's really good art to you and broadly, and what is really bad art. And I think, Aquaman is really bad art.
But then
isn't
at the
very
same
enjoyable
time,
or engaging as something like
visually
Parasite or Monsters Inc.
visually and like the special effects and everything on it, you can't say they are not effective in
I'm
that.
not.
And they're
I'm.
not.
I'm not saying that they alone are not engaging.
But it's
Because
just the
if I was looking at CGI
the
alone,
soup as a whole doesn't work,
Yeah,
but the
exactly.
ingredients do. But yeah,
I like
I
the
mean,
potato and the soup, but
I
don't like the rest of
also I don't know why we were talking about Aquaman and they were on this. I have grown to start to resent the concept of guilty pleasures.
it. Yeah.
I think.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I don't think you can have anything of it. I mean, I got to the point of having a saw tattoo, which, putting that in so high esteem to get a tattoo of it.
Yeah.
And I've had members of my family be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? I enjoy them. Like, yeah, they're just fucking weird, gory, dumb soap operas, but
But
I get
by
enjoyment out of
Gove,
them. I love
you fucking
watching
love
them. I've
them,
seen
yeah.
them more. I've watched all them through more than I should have. Like, there's so many better, quote unquote, or more
Exactly.
artistic or more worthy movies I could have spent my time watching, other than watching the 8 Saw movies 5 times.
Exactly.
But I enjoyed them, and I think that's all it needs to be. I've seen movies that people have praised, or played video games that people have praised, or watched TV shows that people have praised, and haven't enjoyed them, or haven't got what I like. I don't like Stranger Things, at least what I watched of it. I didn't watch all of it, I'll be honest. I got about halfway through a season, decided it wasn't for me. I don't, video game wise, I don't like Skyrim or Fallout. I understand why people do. I don't like GTA either. I understand why people do like them, and I understand why they're good games or good movies, but they don't do anything for me. But that's fine. At the same time, just don't be ashamed of what you like and what you want to watch and what you want to listen to. I don't think there should be shame from enjoying something unless like it's illegal.
Exactly. That's correct.
If unless you still think that Chris Brown did nothing wrong and he's still bumping his music, that's not good.
I mean, he does make some slapping tunes. That's the problem. He's
makes
good.
some what tunes? That wasn't a good choice of words.
Oh, you're fucking right. Actually, he makes some beating tunes. Fuck the beats. They're so good.
No.
Oh lord. Yeah.
You took
I'm
that
not condoning that.
You took that too far, James. I'm going to be honest with you.
No. It was too late.
Friend to
It's
friend.
too late.
To completely drown it back to
Yeah, take away from Chris Brown.
take it back from Chris Brown. And boil it back down
What's that?
to
R. Kelly? Should we talk about him?
to comic book movies. The simple joys.
Yeah.
The main reason I got this DC list up, and it was supposed to be a small build up to get to this one thing.
I see.
But then we took a massive.
We took a detour into what is art.
Yeah, exactly. In the second episode, we're tackling what is art. Next week, what is love?
Yeah. What's life?
What
Are we
is
all right?
it?
We're gonna be okay.
Is it? What's this lump behind my neck?
What is one episode? Just what?
Episode 7, we scream.
Ah.
But yeah,
We answer too many of our existential questions and we just stare into the void. That's it.
that's what I do in between episodes of Clone Wars. That's why it's taken me so long to get through the show.
I see.
Is every now and then I just have to contemplate everything.
Yeah. Contemplate what was
Right.
so bad in
So
the
the
beginning.
main
My God.
thing is the Flash movie
Yeah.
has been moved up.
Up.
The movie that has had several directors. Ezra Miller strangled a person and threw them to the ground.
He did.
But Warner Brothers are going, you know what? Push it forward. Let's do it quicker.
Why did he do that? Because
He's always seemed a bit
on edge.
on edge. He's also a very
Mental.
I won't say mental, but that's not nice. But I think
Yeah, fair enough.
he's very arty-farty type of person, but doesn't very mainstream films. But like his personality and the way he appears, like the way he goes to like the Met Gala and makes like big statements with what he's wearing with that, and the way he like composes himself in interviews and doesn't really like doing press tours and all this sort of stuff, implies everything of like an indie darling and someone who should just do like small movies every now and then. But for some reason they've got him as the Flash, and then also he's one of the main characters in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. It just feels
The
like
thing, what my point,
why him?
my point is that you can be an indie darling, like fucking who was in Spider-Man: Homecoming? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that's Far From Home, but I know what you
Jake
mean.
Gyllenhaal's fucking. He loves doing things
No, yeah,
that aren't mainstream.
No, yeah.
He's not going around strangling people.
No,
What
right.
are you doing, Ezra?
I wasn't condoning that.
You were like, James, he's not crazy. He's a darling of independent
But
film.
what I was saying was Jake Gyllenhaal, to use him as an example, yes, he normally does things like Nightcrawler or whatever, which are a bit more indie and a bit more underground. But then
was he in Donnie Darko? Or am I imagining
he was
that?
Donnie Darko, but
Yeah.
that was obviously like quite early on in his
Yeah,
career. But he does that, and like Brokeback Mountain. He normally does the more like
he
serious
was in Brokeback
Oscar
Mountain.
movies.
Mysterio's met Joker though. Wow.
Yeah, but he did John Mulaney's like Christmas special. He
Huh.
like showed up in that, and then he did like Homecoming. But the thing is, he does indie stuff. But if he ever does go into the mainstream and become like do like the mainstream actor stick, he plays along. He does it like all the social media stuff he did with Tom Holland and the press tours and not strangling people in Iceland. Jake Gyllenhaal ticks all those boxes. It's the same with Ryan Gosling's a weird case because every time he occasionally does something vaguely mainstream, it never does very well. So then Hollywood go, no, we'll put him back in a box again. So like Blade Runner didn't do very well.
Which is a shame because it was so
a fantastic
good.
movie.
I think it's better. I'm throwing it down. I'm sorry, everyone. Throwing it down. It's better than the fucking original.
Yeah, it is.
By far.
It is better.
It is.
I think Blade Runner was great at its time, but I just think 2049 just did a lot more.
I can hear a certain Jamie out there screaming.
Yeah,
right now.
we have a housemate who isn't here, but he is a big fan of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It's Blade Runner tattoo.
By God, the second one's better. Damn it.
It is.
Better story, better
is.
beats.
It's like they keep
Better
trying
acting.
to.
Better acting. All right, I'm saying it. Putting my hands up.
Yeah, Ryan
Where I
Gosling is
am.
more the sign of an indie darling who kind of stays indie darling. I think they've tried to get him to do comic book movies a bunch of times.
Which I can see. Yeah, definitely.
there was Taika Waititi met him about 4-4.
Huh.
But he's obviously it's Christian Bale's doing it, not Ryan Gosling. But I don't think so. I just don't think Ryan Gosling wants to do it. Like he just kind of lives as an indie darling and lives that world and doesn't strangle people. Whereas Ezra Miller seems to want to live in that indie world, but also wants to make the big buck movies and also wants to strangle people. And you know what, Ezra? You have to pick one.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the strangling. It's the indie.
Or
it's the mainstream.
Fantastic Beasts and Flash.
Come on.
You got to pick it. All right.
Pick
and
already.
I'll say it, Ezra.
Don't pick strangling.
Don't pick strangling.
Don't do that.
I mean, you can.
You
But
can.
then Flash might get delayed again.
Yeah, delayed for quite some time till they find a new actor.
It's already been delayed for quite some time. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come out last year.
Maybe they've done so much filming now with the Flash.
I don't know if I don't think they ever started filming it.
What?
I generally don't think it's left pre-production because
Then they must have fired him.
They
surely.
keep getting
Surely
it's
that's why they're
directors they
speeding
keep
up.
firing. At one point, they had him in doing the script because they've gone through so many scripts that they fucking got Ezra in to like look at it. Kind of, but that happened with
Which is weird,
Daniel
isn't
Craig
it?
in Quantum of Solace. He
That's
wrote most
weird.
of that. Well, not most of it, but he wrote a chunk of it.
Because there was a riot strike, wasn't there?
Yeah. So basically, there wasn't anyone to write it.
Which
So
is
Daniel Craig
weird
did it.
because how many writers are there in the world? Like, why has that never happened?
Well,
They've gone to a university and was like, let's go get a writer.
What with what for the Flash or James Bond?
Yeah.
No.
Instead of just getting an actor. Oh, here you
That's
are.
not
You've
how-
never written anything before, but here's a pen and paper.
Hollywood,
Get to work.
at least in terms of screenwriting, from what I've understand, they haven't tried to be in the industry yet. And to be honest, once this degree's done, I haven't come to the decision of whether I'm even going to try because A, what the industry's like, and then B, what the industry's going to be like after COVID finishes.
Yeah, my God.
But
We said it. We said the word.
I said COVID.
I have to make a note of the fucking time.
From what I've gathered, screenwriting's a lot like a lot of jobs you try to get after a degree. They want you to have experience, but they won't give you experience. In order to get something like Flash or Star Wars or James Bond, you need to have written 5 successful movies, but no movie was going to buy your script unless you've written successful movies. Like, it's just, I would love to be able to just send a script for The Flash. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know enough about The Flash, but like, I'd love to be able to just send a script for The Flash to Warner Brothers and then fucking consider it and not use it as toilet paper because that's running low these days.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it works. The way Warner Brothers see it, okay, with the terms of Quantum of Solace, they were already filming it, and at that point, Daniel Craig was there and available. But in terms of Flash, they're like, well, Ezra's the character, so he'll know best. I mean, have you seen his version of Barry Allen? It's ridiculous.
It is a bit.
It's not very good.
I don't really rate the DC films at all.
I don't rate most of them. I don't, even the ones that I do like
I don't even
have
think,
an asterisk on
exactly. Like Wonder Woman isn't that good.
them.
It isn't.
I think it's okay. I don't think it's amazing. but
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's shit. It's not like Wonder Woman's a better film than fucking Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Like by far.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a better movie than that.
So what else is coming
Also,
up? Adam?
kick-ass music in Wonder Woman.
I thought he was going to say Kick-Ass the musical. I was like, that exists.
That'd be great.
That would be.
Yeah. Get Nick Cage
No one
back.
steal that idea.
No. No. Oh wait, who's the guy who writes Kick-Ass? Is it Mark Millar, or I got the wrong name?
Adam, if I knew, I'd tell you.
Look, listen, Mark Millar, if you did write Kick-Ass and
Yeah,
Kingsman
he
and,
did.
and other things, email at popcorn&regret
Yeah.
at gmail.com, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk
you
about
know what?
Kick-Ass the musical. We'll do
You know
it.
what? Who else is listening?
Mhm.
Send us a little email.
Send us a little
Just
email.
Just a little one.
Lyrics
That's
to
all we're
the
asking
to
for.
the Kick-Ass musical.
Just send a bunch of gibberish.
Just do it. We'll read it.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
We'll read it out. We'll dox you.
So we're 36 minutes in, but let's get to the topic.
Yeah. You know what? We were on the topic, and then it derailed.
It was movies that are coming out this year, allegedly asterisks. Obviously, things keep changing every day
Yeah.
of what is coming out and what isn't coming out. We started recording this episode, and lost it.
You know what?
Lost half an hour of it.
Let's fire for him. Artemis Fowl. Let's go.
Well, Artemis Fowl I want to touch on because this is a film that
You can make a joke.
I'm not going to touch Artemis Fowl.
Don't touch him, Adam.
He's,
Stop.
I'm going to strangle him and put him on the ground.
He's a child.
Ezra
Don't
taught
do it.
me. Artemis Fowl we're going to talk because content is limited, so we will do an episode on Artemis Fowl
Yeah,
because
sadly.
Disney decided to just put it on Disney Plus.
Does anyone
because
want to watch this?
you just scrounged Disney Plus off me, so it's
I do.
it's fine
I'm
that
not
you
lying.
you know you can watch it on my account. Yes, Artemis Fowl. Disney were moving all their movies, going, oh, this got to come out here, this got to come out that. Artemis Fowl can just. They didn't even put New Mutants on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They've still decided, God forbid if that movie even exists. I think it's a tax scam at this point. All they filmed was the trailer.
Gonna be denied.
That's all they filmed.
Yeah.
And there's no other movie. They've got Maisie Williams like, where's this movie coming out? She's like, what are you on about?
What movie?
They deep faked me. I've got nothing to do with this.
They got a small child.
Yeah, because I'm Maisie Williams. I am a small
How
child,
old-
despite being 22.
I know how old she is, but how tall is she? Like 4 foot?
She's a small child.
That is small.
Yeah, I think she played like a 10-year-old in Doctor Who.
Which is just.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know. I
terrible,
might be
isn't it?
wrong. I can't remember. It was years ago, but
She did play like a 10-year-old.
yeah. So yeah, Artemis Fowl,
I think
based
she'd
on
be-
the books.
She should be smaller than that. She wouldn't be smaller than that door handle. That's way too small.
By smaller than the door handle, you mean the height
3
of the door
foot.
handle's at,
Yeah.
not smaller than the detached to the door handle. Even though my door handle is very capable of
Oh
detaching
my god, they
at the
shrank
moment.
Arya Stark. She's running around on the floor.
Oh no! Help me! Help me!
Can you imagine? I can. That's
So
what I
Artemis
just said.
Fowl is based on a book series I didn't read because I can't read.
Yeah. I didn't
Um,
read it because I didn't care.
But apparently, from what I've
Yeah.
heard, the movie looks completely wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Really.
Miles off. So yeah, Disney have decided it is not good enough, and they're just gonna dump it on Disney Plus, and people will watch it and do podcast episodes on it because there's fuck all else happening.
And by people, you mean us.
Yeah, the Weekly Planet will probably do it as well.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
us,
true.
but better.
They are.
Yeah, and Australian, they got their accent going for them.
Let's never mention those guys again. They're competitors.
Unless James and Meso, unless you, for some reason
And yeah,
you
if they
are
want us on the
listening.
show or something.
Yeah,
then yeah.
unless
Send us
somehow
an email. Send us just DM us. I don't care.
I mean, Meso, you're probably not driving the trams anymore. I doubt they're still running.
Yeah,
James, you're probably looking after your kid. You're not listening. But Mason, hit us up, man.
Yeah, please do.
We're big fans. I'm sure you're scouring podcasts for
You're like,
for podcasts very
Damn it,
similar
we
to
need
your
some
own.
hot new talent,
Yeah.
and we're it.
If you're looking for James's replacement, Meso,
Wow.
all right. If you think he's getting a bit too old and that we could take him out,
Who,
this
me?
is very niche. Oh no, James is in Mr. Sunday Movies.
Oh, I see. I guess.
I've also got a James.
Yeah, replace him with me.
Yeah. Do you want to swap our Jameses?
You won't even have
No
to
one
change
will
the name.
ever notice,
Yeah.
despite the accent, the voice, and the chemistry.
Yeah, you're right. It
This
would
is
be
a
weird.
very
It'd
niche
be-
thing for anyone
The chemistry
who
would
listens
drop
who
on
doesn't know
both
Mr.
ends.
Sunday
It
Movies.
would drop on both ends.
No,
I'd
I
be
think
talking to a stranger.
Yeah.
You'd be talking to a stranger.
Nah, I've hacked into his webcam all the time.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. Any good shots?
Nothing I can share.
Ah, there you go. The good stuff then.
Yeah, the good stuff. But a movie that's supposedly actually coming out in theatres is Tenant.
Brilliant.
Christopher Nolan's new movie. Now we talked about this in the episode that was lost, but that we don't really know what this is.
It's just gonna be some
But it's
weird
the
time
point.
bullshit. Time war, maybe.
It looks a bit.
Time aliens.
It looks a bit like
Let's throw around some concepts.
Chris
Adam?
Nolan and his brother, who write these, were probably just sat in a room and just went, "What if Inception but time?" Because what do you know what Interstellar was? What if Inception but space and also time?
And also time.
Yeah, so
It's
now,
kind
now
of-
they've just taken the space out of it and made it less interesting.
Actually, it's kind of like Inception, but time and space.
Mm.
Because they travel through both.
They do. But it's got Robert Bat in it. It's got Himesh Patel from yesterday. And that's cool.
Well, you know what? Good for him.
That's good for him. He's a good actor. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's still going. Quicksilver and Kick-Ass.
Oh. That's
But
good for him as well.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, if you don't get any work after Tenant, do hit us up. We're writing a Kick-Ass musical.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. It's going to be, quite frankly, it's going to be brilliant. So
It is. It's going to be great. So yeah, Tenant, don't really know what it is. Probably
time bullshit.
some time bullshit.
I mean, I'll watch it. It's Christopher Nolan. I like that stuff.
It is. I still haven't watched Dunkirk.
Missing out. It's really good.
Harry Styles' own Dunkirk. Harry Styles is in that movie.
He doesn't own it.
Yeah, it is.
What?
Yeah, no, he bought it.
Did he really?
He said, I'm Harry Styles. I've got One Direction money." And Christopher Nolan went, "But this is my film." And Harry Styles just put a check on the table and went, "Number, give me a number."
Give me a number.
And then Christopher
he
Nolan
puts
Nolan
20
put
zeros. And he's like, I don't have this much money.
No, Christopher Nolan put a tenner.
Oh.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do the budgeting. He doesn't know how money works.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
He has
Totally
no
math
concept
illiterate.
of it.
He's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people write this number down before, and he just writes a 1.
But once we finish with Tenant, we can jump in. I was gonna say straight away, but it's a week later.
To the Far East.
So that we can jump out of Tenant, jump straight into the Far East, and watch the remake of Mulan.
Which
We went on a big
will
rant
be
about how we
okay.
don't.
I'm
how
throwing
we
it down
don't.
now.
See, in the recording that we lost, you were super against this
I am
movie.
super against it, but at the same time, it's going to be some fun Chinese martial arts. You know the kind they do in like Hong Kong. And
I
stuff,
just don't
with
think
like
it
the
needs
zip
to be
lines and
Mulan.
stuff.
I don't think it is. It
You
might
don't-
be right.
don't?
It might be closer to the actual story of Mulan. I don't know what it is, but to call it Disney's Mulan and not in any way resemble Disney's Mulan is just a bit weird.
It's like with a country as old as fucking China, with a recorded history
Mm-hmm.
far back as ancient Rome. Why have you got to fucking stay with the same character?
Because
Like it's got nothing to do with her anymore.
What we were saying earlier about
There's no music.
audiences want a name. Most people
They
are
do
just gonna
fucking want a
go,
name.
"Oh,
I
Mulan's
like
out."
Mulan, and they're just gonna fucking.
They're gonna
stroll
go in, they're gonna
throw
watch
their money
it.
away.
Realise it's a kung fu movie. Realise there's no Mushu. Realise there's no, let's get down to business.
And
to
you know
defeat the
what? Not care as well. They'll be like, that was good, and then they'll leave.
Mulan looks in a mirror, and she doesn't wonder what her reflection shows inside. She doesn't care. She moves on.
Fucking hell.
She, there's no
What's the point?
weird bug creature that I can't remember the name of. But
You know what? Fun question.
Mhm.
What film are they going to remake next from Disney's? I'm throwing down Hercules. All right, throwing it down.
I think there's been talks of that because Ariana Grande posted a cover or something, and then they've been like she could work as Meg. But
Get like Beyonce and a bunch of other famous
she's done
singers
one now,
for
though.
the beginning.
Well,
the
what that was
beginning
originally
bit
supposed
with
to
the
be?
sirens.
It was supposed to be the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
So
What? Oh, okay.
Originally in Hercules, the 5
and instead they got
singers were supposed to be.
much better singers.
Yeah, but the concept and why there's 5 of them and the idea of them was that they were going to get the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I
mean, like
you'd get, but the thing is, right? They'd do a remake and they'd stick with that, and they'd get like, a Fifth Harmony even still about? I don't think they are.
I don't think they'd probably get. I mean, I imagine there's a lot of fucking talent out there that could resemble that.
Yeah,
And still do it, Like,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be famous.
I think they are
people.
doing The Little Mermaid, and I think. Oh, I'll tell you what got announced the other week. I think last week, but we didn't really do a news section last week. They're doing for Disney Plus. They're doing a live action remake of the Disney Robin Hood. Now, if you forget the Disney Robin Hood, then you might forget that they're
They're foxes.
anthropomorphic animals.
Hey, fun fact:
Uh-huh.
it's the cheapest Disney film ever made.
I heard it's not bad. I don't think I ever saw
A
it.
lot of it is just reuse assets from the Jungle Book.
Yeah, but they're making Disney are making a remake of that version. They're not making a new Robin Hood movie. They're making a live action version where Robin Hood is a fox and the Sheriff of Nottingham is a lion.
I mean, that could be good. I mean, it could be good. It could be cute. It could be funny. Be nice.
Not live action though.
But like, if they're going for the live action of
Imagine
Lion
a
King,
imagine
of
a
like Lion
Sonic
King,
Fox. Wait, he's an esports gamer.
and like if they're doing
Sonic Fox.
like a live action quote unquote like the Lion King, where it's just pure animals, might be shit. You know?
Well, yeah, because in the Lion King, even though they're more expressive, they still walk and look like lions.
They're not even that expressive. You can't tell any emotions.
No,
out
I'm
of
talking about
them.
the original Lion King.
Yeah.
That they walk and move like lions or whatever creature they are, warthogs and meerkats and the like. But in the Robin Hood movie, they are anthropomorphic, so
Yeah.
they walk and wear clothes and
So
So if you try and CGI that in the way that Lion King works, you've just got a fucking weird
standing fox.
standing fox looking at you with its beady eyes, going.
But my point is, to do a live action quote unquote version of that, they would have to CG it like the character designs, and so it might actually be good.
I mean, they
Because
did.
They wouldn't have the gall to just stand that lion up. But so
They did a
just
Lady
stand
and,
that lion up.
Pick him up by the wires. Well, there was
So he's in pain.
There's that dog movie
That dog movie.
that
That
had
should be a
The
film.
Dog's Purpose or something.
Oh,
Like it had like a
fuck.
lot of attention and people were like, oh, this looks super
Stop.
cute, this is super cute, and then a video emerged of a guy just throwing a dog into a
Into a liver.
river.
Oh.
My brain said lake and river, and I was hoping you're gonna let it slide and not out me like this.
Because I was wondering, like, you were gonna explain what a liver was in dog terms.
Yeah,
He
just threw a dog into a liver.
My God.
Yeah, so then they were like, that's kind of shit. So they just do that. They just give a fox a little hat, attach him to a rope, and just throw him
Jesus.
so he can swing across. I don't know. They did a Lady and the Tramp live action thing, but that was Lion King stuff. Because obviously Lady and the Tramp, they are just dogs.
Yeah.
So that was a Lion King style.
That doesn't even
dogs
look
that
good.
move.
It doesn't look good.
I don't care. I'm not gonna watch
Oh,
it.
let's move on. Fucking hell.
Well, we're moving on to the SpongeBob SquarePants 3 sponge.
Which
on the
weirdly looks, I don't know, the CG looks good, but that kind of concerns me because now it looks too real.
I don't think it looks real.
Is this what the Robin Hood like fucking remake's gonna look like?
Yeah,
My
for
God.
those of you who don't know, they've changed SpongeBob into like a 3D CGI movie.
TJ just fell down the stairs.
Nice.
Our roommate.
Yeah, they've changed it to like a 3D CGI movie instead of the 2D animation that SpongeBob normally is. And yeah, you're right. It looks nice and it works. I think it's just that it's SpongeBob that makes me uncomfortable about it
Yeah.
because
Because it just
isn't
it's surreal.
what SpongeBob looks
It's
like.
surreal to see a realistic SpongeBob.
SpongeBob haunts me everywhere. I'm playing the Spyro
At the same
remake
time,
trilogy.
though,
at the
we are
moment.
looking at a frame of it. Maybe in
Yeah.
movement, it'll be.
I mean,
more.
I've seen the trailer. I think it.
What did you
works
think?
Okay. Yeah, I think the movie looks decent. I just think I'm not on board with the art style myself, but I don't think inherently because it's bad. I just think because I know SpongeBob quite a lot, it's just kind of it's jarring. I'd probably get used to it in the actual movie. But like I said, I was playing the Spyro remakes, and it's so clearly Tom Kenny doing the voice. They just kind of hear SpongeBob in every word.
You're right. It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very clear. Kenny's a great voice actor. But
He is.
You
He is
can
really good.
you can very much pick him out.
But yeah.
But once we're done with SpongeBob,
Yeah. Once we're done with that, lovely.
we can
film.
move on to Wonder Woman, which hasn't been delayed, so this is accurate. It's still coming out in
I don't
August,
know
apparently.
what to think about it though. Like,
I don't know how they're bringing Chris Pine back.
I don't know at all. Like,
Because it seems like he's not a relative. It seems like he's the same guy.
I mean, it would be really stupid if they said he was a relative. Really dumb.
No, because
he's a fucking clone.
in the
guy.
trailer, there's a
It's
bit.
just the same guy.
In a trailer, he's the fish out of water this time, and not her. Like it's the role of her.
Yeah, yeah.
So he is still Steve Trevor. It's just a bit weird.
I think he's gonna. You know what? I'm throwing it down. He's got to die by the end. He's got to.
Again.
Yeah.
She's just got over it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has to because he's not in Justice League.
That's what I mean.
Or BVS. So
He's never mentioned
they kind
in
of
real
imply
life,
that
so
he's
he's gotta
dead.
be dead.
They imply he's dead in BVS and Justice League. Not that the timeline of these movies is well thought out
All really
or
matters,
worth
to
anything
be
at
honest.
this point because they're kind of all standalone now anyway. They're never going to do a Justice League 2. They're just
Nah.
going to kind of live in their own worlds. Especially because Henry Cavill's basically left. Ben Affleck has left. So like you can't, we've got a new Batman coming. Like
Do.
these movies can just kind of live independently, and maybe that's just what DC should do. Obviously, like Birds of Prey, like reference Suicide Squad to an extent because that was a sequel to it, and Wonder Woman 1984 will probably reference Wonder Woman 1, but because it's set in the 80s, it can quite easily ignore everything else.
Yeah.
It's the Mandalorian as the villain, one of the villains.
Oh, I see. The guy who plays him.
Yeah, no, it just is the Mandalorian. He
What is
walks
this?
on in. Annoyingly, his name's not here, and I cannot remember. Diego Luna, that's his name.
He's in
No, it's
Game
not
of
Diego
Thrones
Luna.
as well.
I'm very sorry, it's not Diego Luna. That's somebody else from Star Wars.
Oh.
That is
Same guy from
he's
Game
from
of
Rogue
Thrones.
One. It is the guy from Rogue One. I just cannot remember his name. I am glad that I instantly
You know
knew I
what?
was wrong when I said Diego Luna because I would have felt stupid.
Is he in Rogue One?
Diego Luna is the Cassian Andor. He was the guy with the robot K2SO. He was the main man.
Is he in Mandalorian?
No,
Really
he's
haven't
not. I got the wrong.
Oh,
I got
I
the
see.
wrong guy. I was saying I said
was gonna
Diego
say,
Luna,
like-
but he's in Rogue One, not
I think you're
Mandalorian.
wrong, Adam. Like,
It's also got weird choice for a villain.
yeah.
Kristen Wiig.
Who's Christian Wiig?
Did you see Bridesmaids?
Right. No,
Mm.
but
The
that
main
is
woman
strange.
from Bridesmaids.
Okay, very strange.
She's like a SNL. Ghostbusters, female Ghostbusters. She was the main one.
Right.
Yeah.
That is really weird.
Mhm.
She's
an
in
SNL.
SNL. Yeah.
Actress,
Terrible,
and now
terrible
she's
show.
doing- I don't think it has moments. I only watch the good. To be
Not-
fair though,
not
I only ever
anymore.
watch the sketches that like get traction. So I probably only watch the good ones, like your undercover Kylo Ren stuff and whatever. Like they're good.
I don't know.
Apparently the stuff they've been doing, the SNL at home stuff's been pretty good. Just is what
I
it
don't
is.
rate it, but
Oh,
you
Bill
can.
and Ted 3 is coming out. Have you
Yeah,
seen
that-
any of the others?
yeah.
See, I know of them but never have.
Yeah, it's good. Good fun.
It's
Silly characters, funny stuff.
It seems like though,
Had George Carlin in it.
with this and they're
George
doing
Carlin's dead, obviously.
they're doing this and they're doing a Matrix 4, that it's, you want to talk about, we talked earlier about Hollywood cashing in on trends. Well, the
Yeah.
trend they're cashing in on is Keanu Reeves.
They are literally cashing in on him.
Well, because I think
John Wick,
Matrix 4
Matrix,
comes out
this.
like 2 weeks after John Wick 4, at least originally. Obviously things might have
Brilliant.
moved, but like they were literally just gonna have two massive Keanu Reeves movies fight each other. Keanu Reeves is in SpongeBob 3 as well. He's in that movie. He was in Toy Story 4 last year. He's obviously doing Bill and Ted.
It's just really his time. He really
is
has come
the,
back. He's done a Liam Neeson and just come back in a big way.
Matthew McConaughey as well. Yeah. He's a lovely man, and
Deserves it,
He
so.
seems like he does very much deserve it. I was watching the Clone Wars, and they had an episode where like
Where Keanu Reeves was in it.
characters were getting visions, and Obi-Wan had a vision of Qui-Gon. And I was like, fuck, I was like, Jesus Christ, the voice actor they got for Liam Neeson sounds just
Please,
like
no.
Qui-Gon Jinn. It was Liam Neeson.
Oh, right.
They actually
I was going to
got-
say it was Keanu Reeves. I was
No,
like,
I was gonna. No,
sorry.
you just mentioned Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I was just shocked that he came
he
back.
came
for it.
back, yeah.
Yeah, which was interesting. They also got the same actress who played Anakin's mum to play her in a vision as well, which I thought was nice as well. But I was just like, fair play. When none of the other cast come back to do the Clone Wars, it's nice that.
I think people
Liam
like
Neeson
Hayden
does.
Christian and
Christensen.
Hayden Christian basically got a better life to get on with. I mean, he's
Well,
not
no,
in films much anymore.
Hayden Christensen
but he's
more.
got big checks.
He more resented it, especially when they were making the Clone Wars. He was
Yeah, you know.
detached from Star Wars at that point. He didn't do any. He didn't do any like Comic-Con appearances or whatever until like 2 years ago when he started coming out again.
I think a lot of people go through like the Spock phase because the guy who plays Spock famously hated it for a long time. He was like, "I'm not Spock." His biography was called "I Am Not Spock."
I think with in terms of Hayden Christensen as well, you've got the fact that at the time the prequels were very much hated. And he got a lot of flack for that. I don't think his performances are very good in those movies, but also I don't think it's his fault because everyone's performances, other than Ewan McGregor,
I'd
very
say
good in that
Hayden
movie.
Christian's performance is pretty damn good.
I think
He's just
I
not-
think
he's not
in
perfect for the
episode
role.
3 I think it does well. I think everything kind of picks up in episode 3. But again, I don't think it's his fault because I've seen him in other movies where he's been good. I think
I like Jumper.
I think it
I
was
don't
just Jumper's a good movie.
Yeah.
I do like
Jumps on
Jumper.
top of the fucking Sphinx.
But
Brilliant.
I think it was more just directing. But yeah, I think he got a lot of hate and the movie's got a lot of hate, and then over the years, A, he kind of just matured, he kind of just got
Yeah.
over it, and B, the prequel started getting a lot more love. So I think he was a lot more open to be acknowledged as being Anakin again.
Mm.
So yeah, we ended up talking about Star Wars and Clone Wars again.
You know, it's just natural for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always turns up.
Oh, I didn't know that it had a new date. We'll move to that in a second. But The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, sequel to The Hitman's Bodyguard. That movie
A
was
sequel that didn't need to be made.
no. I think I saw the first one, and it was one of those movies that I enjoyed watching it at the time, but
would you watch
it left no.
Exactly.
It left nothing on
Doesn't
me.
need to be made.
It's a movie that's carried on the fact that Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson are enjoyable people to watch.
Well,
Like
maybe that's what you need.
yeah, if you know, sometimes you do just want to watch something with actors you like, and those two are just fun actors to watch.
Who would you cast as his wife?
Oh, it's she was already a character in the last one. It's,
I see.
It's Salma Hayek.
What's she been?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. You'd know her if you saw her photo.
Okay.
She kind of shows up in a bunch of stuff, but she's not like famous for one thing. Antonio Banderas is in it apparently. Richard E. Grant. When
Richard
they
E. Grant
when
is
they
great.
finished it, he laughed, he cheered, he fist bumped the air.
So bad. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We're bringing it back to Star Wars one more time. It is a shame that he got so into the role because he was so good in it. You can't deny it. Richard E. Grant was a bloody.
He was
good
a
character.
replacement for
Fucking
Hux.
hell. And he was cool.
Because Hux.
He should have been in it from the beginning.
I mean, they were going to do interesting things with Hux in the original episode 9 that didn't get made. I think we touched about it last week. But I don't know, JJ decided that he was just going to make Hux an even bigger pussy. So then he was like, oh, then Hux is done, we need a replacement. He was kind of replacing his own problem, but I think he worked. A Quiet Place 2, I didn't actually know had been given a new release date because it was one of the first movies. I think No Time to Die was the first movie to get delayed.
Yeah.
And everyone went, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it was ahead of its time.
It was, literally.
Despite the fact that I think that movie is now coming out a year later than it was supposed to because it's already been delayed at that point. Quiet Place was the next one to go. Like, I was lined up, I had tickets booked to see it. And a double bill of Quiet Place 1 and 2. And then it moved. That's apparently coming out in September. Any opinions on a Quiet Place?
I think it's a good film.
I think it's a good film.
I don't really think there's a lot to say about it, really.
I understand, especially why a movie like that, and I think John Krasinski, if I've said his name right there, I don't think I have, put in the statement when they decided to delay it, because again, it was early on, it was before everyone else was doing it, was he went, like, this movie is a movie that needs to be in cinemas, and people can't go to cinemas right now. Because I haven't watched Quiet Place since seeing it in the cinema, but that, like, everyone, like, trying to be quiet and whatever, this tension in the actual cinema screen added a lot to it. I don't know how much I'd enjoy it detached from that just by myself, but I think it's all right. I
approve. I like
That's
it.
got Cillian Murphy in the next one. He's a good boy, isn't he? I don't watch Peaky Blinders, but he's
I haven't either. I've heard Peaky Blinders is good as well.
I have.
You know, nothing to criticise.
Did you know the same day? So if you can't get into a Quiet Place screening,
you're right.
It's fine.
What should I?
You can go and watch the Monster Hunter movie.
Fucking hell. Alright then, sure.
Based on the Capcom video games, which I have played 2 hours of World.
Yeah,
and
I'd
went,
say
not for me.
Yeah. Not a good game.
I think when I started customizing my cat, but also not cat because he was walking around.
Yeah, your little
when
cat man.
When I was customizing my little cat man, and then picking what size I wanted my giant anime sword to be, that I decided maybe this game wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we've got top people. We've got the director and star of the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, well, it's going to be shit then.
Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich. No, there's no nepotism there at all. They're definitely not married, and which is why they're always doing movies together.
You know what?
Ron Perlman's in it.
I have hope for that, actually.
What, for the Monster Hunter movie?
Because monsters are easy and visceral. It should be easy.
I haven't seen the Resident Evil movies. I'm going through the games at the moment, so maybe I should add the movies to my list of Resident Evil.
No, you should never ever do that. As a fan of the Resident Evil games, and I've seen the movies, don't do it ever to yourself.
I think the movies just live in their own world, though, really, don't they?
No, they don't. They just butcher the world that exists. Believe me, because they get characters that are one for one, the original characters, and they're not like,
I know West.
I'm just going to ruin them. Yeah. Just going to ruin them horribly. So don't ever.
Well, fine then, James. If you can't get into your screening of Quiet Place, if you can't get into your packed out screening of Monster Hunter,
what is it?
You can see the Peter Jackson directed The Beatles Get Back. I have no fucking idea what
What?
this movie is, and I've never heard of it. Only just when I've read it on this list right now.
It looks like there's a little brief description there. Maybe you could tell us a bit.
On the heels of the universally acclaimed World War One documentary. Oh, it's a documentary. Peter Jackson does documentaries now?
Ah, yes, he did a really good World War One
Yeah,
documentary.
Thou Shall Not Grow Old.
So
Apparently.
he's just going to colorise a bunch of Beatles film.
I don't know. It says from their 70 album Let It Be, 1970 album. So surely that was colour already at that point.
Yeah, I guess restore it, because in the World War One documentary, he took World War One footage, restored it, added a few extra actors and stuff, and added, and made some clips that were like composites to make it look really, really good, to get a really good image. But I guess that's what he's going to do for this.
Yeah.
Just get really high quality. Yeah,
it just apparently documents them recording
Well, to be honest,
the album Let It Be, and then has their performance on the rooftop of Apple Records.
To be honest, I can't hate that. I thought it was going to be a shitty like retelling of the Beatles' lives or whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was something weird that like yesterday was good, and then people went, "Oh, we need a Beatles movie." That was like the thing.
But that I approve.
No,
of
yeah,
time,
yeah. If you're a Beatles fan, I like the Beatles as much as most people. I'm not a massive fan.
And you know what? I think Peter Jackson makes some really high quality documentaries.
I didn't know that's what he was doing though.
Yeah, good for
But a
him.
week later, James,
A week
when you
later?
can't get into your
When I've
screening
had
of A Quiet Place, and you can't get into your screening of Monster Hunter or The Beatles Get Back, they're all just too packed out.
Or when
You
I've
can-
had my triple bill.
Yeah, when you need a palate cleanser,
Mm-hmm.
you can watch The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Or I can do anything else. I could stay at home and sleep.
I guess this
Stare
is
at
The
paint.
Conjuring 3?
Who cares?
I don't know. I don't know
They're
nothing
bad.
about this universe. I don't watch them.
care if you like them. They're bad. I'm saying it.
My mother, who doesn't like horror movies at all, has apparently started going through the Conjuring universe, and she's like, they're great, Alan, they're great. And I started just like telling her other horror movies she should watch that, but I was like, just watch It Follows, or
Exactly.
or Hereditary, or there's a bunch of stuff. I was like, or The Invisible Man. I don't know if you could really call it a horror movie, but it was good.
If it's
Very
scary, it's horror.
If you want something made by someone who used to make Saw, but is
But
not
has
Saw,
dipped big in quality.
I don't know. I think oh, my wife, I forgot his name.
That's a good sign.
The guy who played Adam in Saw, can't believe I forgot his name,
Hmm.
and then directed The Invisible Man. I'm drawing a blank, and I'm really mad at myself. Can you pass me my my Saw DVD?
I can.
Lee 1L. You don't need to. It's fine. Lee 1L. I remembered his name. Lee 1L has not dipped in quality. James 1 has dipped in quality, but
You heard it here
That's
first,
despite the
folks.
apparently
I
Control is
bet
very
it is.
good and is basically a better Venom, but I haven't seen it.
There you go.
After that, a week later, when you can't get into your screening of Monster Hunter because
When
it's still
it's
so
just
packed out,
Yeah.
you
People
can
are
see the
lusting for films.
Kingsman.
There you go.
You can see the Kingsman, the prequel to the Kingsman movies.
Sure, it'll be good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
apparently
Matthew
there-
Vaughn. He's a good
It's there
director.
to set up Kingsman 3, so
I feel like that's weird to get a prequel to set up the sequel.
I think they're setting up some sort of evil organisation that's going to persist through time, and that's
Mhm.
what the Kingsmen are going to defeat in the third film, because that's what they're talking
I
about.
didn't like
That's what they sort of
Kingsman 2 very much.
Well,
I love Kingsman 1. Think
I
Kingsman 1's
think
brilliant.
that's what they saw. They saw
Yeah.
that it was like, oh, let's just do it bigger and better, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
Because what was fun about Kingsman was that you was getting introduced to this secret world that was interesting and fun. You know?
I think the action was still interesting. I think
Oh, yeah,
Matthew
big
Vaughn
time.
does good action.
They
That
just needed-
also had the guy who I can't remember the name of, who was in Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian and Wonder Woman 1984, but I can't remember his name. I'm gonna find out his name. Yeah, I think it's a good cast in the thing that's being in the prequel. It's got Ralph Fiennes, who's always fun. Just looking there, it had Charles Dance. He'll do anything at this point.
He will, because to be honest, he's loaded.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. I
Great
apologise, Pedro. I know you're listening.
Yeah, he loves
I
that stuff.
apologise, Pedro Pascal. I am a big.
be the first to
I
meet me.
like everything I've seen you in. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I forgot your name. Yeah, but the remake's that's also got Aaron Taylor Johnson. Big year for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Dance, Daniel Bruhl, who is Baron Zemo in the Marvel movies. Stanley Tucci. Or,
Well, I mean, it sounds good to me.
yeah, I mean, it'll be hopefully will be a step up in quality. But a week after that, when you can't get into your 7th screening of Monster Hunter, you can see Candyman.
heard that's going to be. I mean,
It
I've
looks
seen the
very
trailer and
good.
it looks really good.
It looks very, very good. My issue with it is it seems to be quite heavy on bee
Mm.
appearances. I have a big
Not
phobia
big-
of bees. I
Yeah, not
I
going to
do
happen
not
for
like
you,
them.
huh?
I will see the movie because it looks good.
And cry.
I will just not be very happy. Remember when we saw Brightburn? Not a good movie, by the way. There was literally a part in that movie where it just cuts abruptly to a screen of wasps because he's like watching something in his school or something, and I like turned away, and you just like looked at me and laughed.
I don't remember that moment very vividly, but
I do.
I imagine it stuck with you more.
Well, coming out the same day as Candyman, so this will be a double bill.
My God,
Because obviously you
I've
can't
got
see
so many
Monsanto.
triple and double bills ahead.
Every time you see Monsanto as well. Is Last Night in Soho, which is the Edgar Wright directed horror movie
Huh.
starring Matt Smith.
Well, Any Night in Soho's a horror movie. Hey.
I'm Northern. That makes nothing. That means nothing to me.
It's just a fucking sordid den.
Yeah, but starring.
I mean, I love it, quite frankly, but
starring Matt Smith and directed by Edgar Wright. I think I'd probably be fucking brilliant because
Yeah,
anything
probably good.
Edgar Wright touches is great.
I don't know. Can't remember all of his works.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, Scott
World's
Pilgrim,
End was
Baby Driver.
okay.
World's End is underrated, and you don't give it
No,
enough respect.
World's End is okay. It's not that good.
I don't know what that is.
And after that, films are cancelled forever, all the time.
Well, there's the Trial of the Chicago 7, but I have no idea what it is. It's an Aaron Sorkin movie. He did the Social
If I had
Network.
to guess, it's probably some.
Trial.
Yeah,
It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Sacha Baron Cohen.
It's going to be about
Eddie Redmayne.
It's going to be about some sort of miscarriage of justice, if I had to
Michael
guess.
Keaton.
Because that's the sort of thing that the United States and the justice system is famous for.
Something to do
Miscarriages of
with
justice.
anti-Vietnam protests.
Yeah, I thought so.
Aaron Sorkin, though, good director. He did Social Network, Molly's Game, things like that.
Alright, nice. What else?
Death on the Nile, the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, comes out in October. This is when Monster Hunter's not in cinemas anymore. You can't see it, James. So you're gonna have to see Death on the Nile instead.
Yeah, well that's alright.
Did you see Murder on the Orient Express?
Right.
Yeah, I think it was alright.
Kenneth Branagh's a good actor.
It was nice to see Daisy Ridley in something that wasn't Star Wars.
Yep.
We probably won't see it again.
Yeah.
By all accounts that she's admitted in interviews herself, she's not getting work,
Yeah.
which is sad. She said, I think in Graham Norton. So I was like, so what are you doing now? She was like, well, I'm currently unemployed, so if anybody wants to hit me up, please, I was in Star Wars, can you please give me some work?
My God, poor woman.
Yeah.
At the same time, she's probably filthy rich.
I don't know, she was a no one, so God knows they might not have even given her that good of a contract.
Yeah, but say she got $5 million, that's her for the rest of her life.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, that's all she needs. And she's definitely got
Unless
more
she
than that.
spunked it all.
Yeah, but you're an idiot then, aren't you? Like, then it's her own fault. I couldn't spunk $1 million if I had it. I couldn't. Because if I bought anything over 10 grand, I knew I shouldn't have. I'd be like, no, I can't do that.
If someone
yeah,
went...
but you can do anything if someone's forced you. Climb up the Empire State Building or I'll kill your mum.
You
Well,
can,
I'm
strangle,
climbing
you
up
can
there.
strangle someone and slam them on the ground at a bar in Iceland.
Exactly, bringing it back.
If the voices in your head tell you to do it, Ezra, then you have to do it.
He got a Visor and Flash in the future,
Uh-huh.
the Speed Force. He was like, you got to slam that woman's head. You got to slam her right into the ground, mate. All right, future me.
I think the Death on the Nile. I think Murder on the Orient Express was good.
Yeah,
but I think Death on the Nile is now going to have to live in the shadow of Knives Out, and I think that's going to
Yeah.
affect it.
Yeah, it might be good. Who knows?
Who does know? They're making The Witches. This also stars Stanley Tucci. Good year for Stanley Tucci.
Well done, Stanley Tucci, and your funny name.
Yeah, The Witches, I think, as in the Roald Dahl. Yeah, the Roald Dahl Witches.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. It's got not much to say about that. Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. So I'm here going.
Another Bill Murray.
I'm going. Oh, Wes Anderson. That's great. I like him. Oh, Francis McDormand, Tilda Swinton, Bill Murray. You're right. Owen Wilson. All the standouts. That's great. It sounds like a very good Wes Anderson film. What do you mean Timothée Chalamet's in it?
Oh Jesus.
Oh, Saoirse Ronan's in it though. We're fine.
Yeah.
Do they come as a pair at this point? Like, if you cast one, do you have to cast the other?
I don't
swear
get it.
every movie that has Saoirse Ronan in it has Timothée Chalamet. So I have to be like, oh, Saoirse, and then Timothy shows up, and I'm like,
I mean, he's got an interesting, I'd say, quite aesthetically pleasing
face. Okay, I think
Yes.
he is a pretty boy, but I think
I wouldn't even say that. I would just say he looks good, and not
I
even
think
like
Wes,
attractive.
to be actually, all joking aside, I think Wes Anderson is a good fit for him.
Oh yeah.
I think
It'd be esoteric.
It
It'd be a bit strange. It'd be fun.
I think he can work for Wes Anderson. So you know what? I take it back, Timothy. I'm on board for that.
Good luck, Tim.
But I'm afraid it's on the same day. I've got to choose between these two movies, so I guess I'm not seeing The French Dispatch because I'm too busy seeing the G.I. Joe spin-off movie Snake Eyes.
Right. Well, I'm not.
Because you'll be seeing Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah. Just on
He's
repeat.
pirated at this point.
Yeah. It's not even out yet.
You've got Mila Jovovich in the basement telling her to recite the lines.
Do it.
How you got her in
Desperate
How you
with a
got her in the
magnum.
house? You found her at a bar in Iceland, and you
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah. I saw Ezra doing it. I was like, hey, he's got the right idea.
He does.
And I just followed his groove.
Starring Henry Golding, from The Gentleman and Last Christmas, and I think he was in some other things. But that's
Good
so
for
weird.
you, Henry.
I didn't think he was
Hey.
playing Snake Eyes, but he's the silent, blind ninja from the
Yeah.
G.I. Joe movie.
Does
That
any-
were 10 years ago, if
Like,
not
yeah,
longer.
what the fuck?
Why make it now?
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's a thing. Who cares though?
But also on the same day, when you can't get into your packed screening of Snake Eyes,
Yeah.
you can see Halloween Kills, the sequel to Halloween.
Okay.
But not the sequel to Halloween, the sequel to Halloween, which was actually a sequel to Halloween.
All right then. I mean, I don't know what to say. Maybe it'll be good. It's too far to see at this point.
Yeah.
Unless it's so blatant, like fucking
We've
Wes
reached
Anderson
71
film.
minutes and we're only in November, so we should probably speed it up.
Black Widow. I don't.
Black Widow's coming out. It'll be fine. I think it's too late.
Yeah.
I think if you were gonna make a Black Widow movie, probably should have made it when she was alive.
Yeah.
Godzilla vs Kong. That's coming out in November as well.
Okay.
They're-
I mean,
they're going-
hopefully
They're going
there'll
through
be
it.
less speaking. And
Millie Bobby Brown's
shit.
in it. Oh, Brian
Oh,
Tyree.
she isn't in it.
Yeah,
Is
she
fucking
is.
hell.
All your favourite characters from Godzilla 2.
Charles Dance's in it.
He's not on this, but he might be.
Maybe give it the fucking just.
Brian Tyree Henry is in it though,
Yeah.
so he's always great from Atlanta. So I guess I've
Alright.
got to go see it now. The next Pixar movie, Soul,
That
which is
kind
just
of looks nice.
it looks like Inside Out, but you're a soul this time.
Yeah.
I will give it credit for this, and that is that Richard Ayoade is in it.
Isn't what's his face in it? Main character.
Jamie Foxx. is the main character,
Jamie Foxx is good.
He is, and he seems to be singing, and he is good
seems
at
to
that.
just have created a career off of riffing it, just doing stuff he enjoys and just rolling with it.
Yeah, I
He
think
likes singing. He likes acting.
I think
He's
he's
just
like
gone
I think
with it.
he's got his fingers in like producing stuff and things like that. So I think like he just does acting for the fun of it. I don't think it's like his career. I think he just does it because he wants to do it. He did Spider-Man because he thought it'd be fun. Obviously it didn't work out, but like he did Electro because he was like, oh, that sounds fun, and like he's done this.
And really-
he did Baby Driver just because he liked Edgar Wright and was like he called Edgar Wright and was like, I want to do something with you.
I won't lie to you. I mean, I appreciate
It's like
that.
speaking of
That's
Baby-
the career I want.
Speaking with like
I want to
Baby
be Jamie
Driver,
Foxx. All right.
It's like what's his name, the Madman guy.
I don't know.
John Hamm, that's his name. John Hamm, I've listened to an interview with him where he said his agent hates him because his agent will come to him with Marvel movies and big franchises, and he goes, no. He's like, Mad Men got me enough money for life. So it's just when something interesting comes up. So like your Baby Driver's or Black Mirror or something,
Or
where he
Top
goes, I want
Gun.
to do it. Is he in Top Gun?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe he just likes Top Gun.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, people like Top Gun. I've never seen Top Gun, but he just does stuff because he wants to do it. He doesn't really do it for like any like stance in career. He's like, I'm fine. And then No Time to Die, the first movie to get delayed,
Is way the
is
fuck back.
is now happening in November.
Well,
I think it'll be good. I like the
Yeah.
Craig Bond movies.
hopefully Craig will get what he wants and not have to do them anymore.
Yeah. No, he got tricked by saying Danny Boyle would direct, and also tricked by a lot of money. But then
It always gets you.
that's always get him.
It get me.
Oh, I thought this was a pillow. It's actually 50 million.
Fucking hell. Can you imagine? What a life.
But I'm sure it'll be good. Hopefully it wraps up his arc so that you can kind of get a new Bond and do something new, and just like so that when the new Bond is probably not that good, I can just forget it and just live in my world of Craig ones, and then move on. Oh, good! I didn't know they were making this movie. Escape Room 2. The sequel to what I've always described as Disney Channel original movie Saw. It was
You're
a
very
sup-
right. It's so bad.
It was a super cheap movie that was cashing in on people liked escape rooms, and
And apparently they want more of that money. So
I mean, why? But it clearly made some form of money. But it was supposed to. it wanted to be Saw so badly. It literally starts with an opening trap, like every Saw movie does from 2 onwards, and yet it didn't have any, because it was cheap. It didn't have any extra traps to just shove at the beginning. So you see a trap with a character who ends up being one of the main cast. So when all the things happen, you know that he survives because you saw him do the final trap in the first 5 minutes of the film. And then it ends with a dark, because it was like a mysterious society, like tricking, like watching people die, The Hunt sort of thing. The Hunt was a good movie, but it starts with a disembodied voice sounding like this, going, "Let's get ready to play our game," or something to those lines.
So
Something that is
sad.
skirting the rim of Lionsgate calling up, going, "I'm sorry, what the fuck?" The thing is, if that comes out in November, Spiral Saw 9 hasn't been given a new date yet, so that might be coming out at the similar time. I hope it isn't. I hope it comes out sooner because I'm really excited for it. But Escape Room 2 might have to compete with the franchise it's ripping off. And
Which is hilarious.
And the franchise it's ripping off, but also has the balls to do it at an 18 level. So you know what? Escape Room will do great, because 15-year-olds will try and get into Saw, get
Fail.
told no, and go see Escape Room
Maybe that's
instead.
their plan.
Well, I don't think it was the plan, because they didn't know that there was going to be a global pandemic that was going to delay Spiral from May.
True,
So
true.
unless they did, in which case they're
wow,
fucking geniuses.
they should have invested, because that sounds like they have fucking foresight into the future.
Okay, so we've got.
Should we run through a few? There's a lot, and you know what? There's so many.
There's Top Gun Maverick
Top Gun.
is still coming out.
Okay,
I don't
that's coming
care.
out.
Tom and Jerry, the movie, is coming out in December
Isn't that
23.
CG or something?
Yeah,
isn't it?
I met someone who worked on it. She was one of the script editors, script supervisors on it. She did a course with me.
Did she say anything about it?
She said, "Imagine Roger Rabbit, but not as good." Is the exact quote she said.
Okay.
The Croods 2. I forgot the Croods 1 even existed. Ryan Reynolds is in it though, as is Emma Stone. Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America. Eddie Murphy's back, baby. December is fucking busy. West Side
It should
Story.
be called Going from America
Steven
instead of
Spielberg is
going back
directing.
to Africa. He's going to see what it's like now.
Steven Spielberg is directing a West Side Story movie, which is a very Latino-heavy film. Am I right?
Yeah.
Why is Ansel Elgort in it?
Is
there white people in it, or is he just?
That's
of
the point. It's
Okay,
a Romeo and Juliet. You know.
There's the June movie.
Just for the month. Good on the month, eh?
Free Guy starring Ryan Reynolds, like weird video game movie type of thing.
Weird video game thing.
Yeah, vague video game thing. What else?
The point is he's an NPC that finds out he's an NPC. You know?
And then somehow he's allowed to live.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just looks like Ryan Reynolds just gets put in movies where he can be Ryan Reynolds. He's kind of like a modern Jim Carrey at this
I don't
point.
think Ryan Reynolds picks those movies because he gets given a lot of money.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that he's like the Jim Carrey. There was a period where Jim Carrey would just get put in movies where he could just be Jim Carrey. The plot didn't matter. It was just that Jim Carrey was being Jim Carrey.
Hey guys,
so now
Jim Carrey.
So now it's just Ryan Reynolds.
Now it's just Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Reynoldsing.
So we jump through a lot of these. Tom and Jerry's going to be shit, probably. Coming to America, I haven't seen the first one. Did I miss anything else? I don't think so. But it does end on a to-be-decided date.
Oh, that's good.
Which is the New Mutants. When will it come out? When will it come out? I'll tell you when it will come out. When the sun fucking explodes,
when it consumes
Disney will send a tweet as the solar rays are fucking firing towards Earth, and we're boiling. And
Disney World.
We're boiling and burning like a fucking chicken in the oven, and
just scorching Disneyland.
Disney will just send a tweet going, "We've pushed the release of the New Mutants until due to unseen events, we're pushing the release of New Mutants until further notice," and then the fucking world gets wiped out. Yeah. We will never see this movie be released.
And you know what? It's probably not good.
So, all in all, what do you think of the movies that come out?
Well, there's a few ones that I'm excited for.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that these dates are going to be accurate?
There is one on there I am excited for that hasn't been mentioned.
Okay.
It's Dune.
I did say June.
It said June on there?
Yeah, I said June.
Oh.
And then you said what for the whole month? I think maybe you thought I said
Dune. I thought you said June. I was like, there's a film called June.
Yeah, I said June.
Okay.
No, I said June, not June.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's June coming out.
I'm excited for that.
Should we do an episode where we watch the old one from the 80s?
Well, David Finch made it.
Fincher.
Yeah, sorry.
Fucking David flinched.
And
Yeah, should we? What should we?
You know what?
Coming up to.
I-
I mean,
it
I
is-
say,
he's
I
a-
say we'll do it before June. I mean, we've got fucking. We'll do it before June. You tell you what, we'll do it before June,
Oh, really?
not before June.
That's
But
good.
we'll do a June episode, a DUNE episode
Yeah.
of the old movie. 'Cause
You know
I know
what?
you've seen it and I haven't, and I know it's apparently a hot mess. But
That's the thing. Like, it feels like a film you can't do, which is why I'm excited for the new one.
It's
Because
the
it's either going to be
director
a
of,
miracle and they've done it, or it's going to be like all the other attempts and shit.
sorry, I looked at New Mutants and I read Hayley Williams, but it's Maisie Williams, and I was very confused. I was
They
like, the
replaced
singer
her.
from Paramore, she's been in the New Mutant. That's great. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, we'll
yeah.
see. I mean,
There's a lot.
I don't
there's-
think a lot of these movies are actually going to come out.
a lot of it's guaranteed to be mediocre.
Uh-huh.
Some of it's guaranteed.
as is most things.
Some of it's going to be good.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of it just shite.
I feel like
New
when
Mutants is gonna be
something's
shit.
mediocre, people knock that down too much. I mean, like, it's impressive enough to get something to be mediocre. Like,
I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like getting something to be bad is easy.
Because mediocre on that level isn't impressive. When you have such apparatus. I mean, it's impressive if we make a mediocre piece of art compared to Pixar. If I made something that looked like a bit of an okay Pixar
So if
film,
you
that'd
accidentally
be my fucking career.
If you slipped and fell and accidentally made The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, on my own, I'd be a fucking miracle maker. They'd be giving me Oscars. If you accidentally made...
I was trying to close Pornhub and all of a sudden I just got
If you just got a bunch of your mates and
Uh-huh.
got a fucking camera and made fucking The Blair Witch Project or
I think
Saw...
that's what people did.
Exactly,
really.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. People that, that's a mediocre film on
Well,
that
Saw
level.
was
It's fucking incredible.
Saw was
on your own.
funded, but The Blair Witch was that kind of.
It's
Same
what I
with
mean.
Bahama
It's
yeah.
incredible on that level.
Um,
So, mediocre on this level,
Uh-huh.
on AAA, big Hollywood films, it's a bit disappointing. Not even
Well,
disappointing, just expected.
We'll see, and we look forward to in 7 years' time when we're allowed to hold hands with people.
Yeah.
And then in 12 years' time when we're allowed to go back into the cinema, I look forward to seeing Coming to America.
You know what?
Um,
You know what? Not to be a downer note, but in 12 years' time, there's probably going to be another round of this. Maybe worse.
Coronavirus 2, the sequel.
Another
This
thing
time
I've got to bleep.
This time it's in 3D.
Yep, that's because you can see it.
Yeah.
It's in
Well, that would
there.
make it easier if you could see it.
Unless it was everywhere, then you'd be terrified.
Well, it is everywhere, James. Stay indoors. Stay inside.
That's right,
Close
everyone.
your doors.
Stay indoors.
Stay indoors. Wash
Wear
your hands,
masks.
Kiss your mother.
You know, important note to leave on.
Don't kiss your mother.
Yeah, especially if you
Don't do it.
don't.
Kiss it. As Soldier Boy told you, kiss her through the phone.
Kiss her through the phone.
Right. So
See you
we
when
have
you
a-
get home, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you later on, I think.
See you later on. Later on. Kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone.
And see you later on. Later on.
Later on.
That's the theme tune. We figured it out. We're just gonna play.
We're just gonna play Soldier Boy. You know what? He's good. He's busy making his game content. He doesn't
He
need
is.
us.
So I had an idea for a segment that we'll do every week, which is hopefully we'll do shorter main sections and not go onto tangents of what is art that's meant that we've reached 83 minutes and now I'm trying to speed this shit up.
Although I
because
enjoy
Spotify has a time limit.
I enjoy I enjoy these tangents, but yeah.
Yeah. I had an idea for a segment of every week we spin a random movie generator, we get given a movie, and then the next week we talk about that movie, and then spin for the next week, and so on and so on and so on. In the episode that we recorded then lost, we spun the wheel and we got the movie Whiplash.
Yep.
We're still going to do Whiplash on the fact that it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
If we had spun it and got something shit, I would have been respinning it right now and acting like this is the first time we've done it.
Exactly.
But honestly, I just want an excuse to watch Whiplash again. It's a great movie. Even if, to be honest, could see Miles Teller choking someone out and slamming them on the floor. He seems like the type. But we'll so next week, once we finish with the main section, which will be whatever the hell we decided is, we will talk about Whiplash and how we love it.
Yep.
Any wrong answers will be met with a chair being thrown at you.
That's right.
And then we'll spin the wheel and we do another one, and then possibly we'll start trimming things down if these sections sections kick off. We're dragging things out because we don't have a lot going on. Let's be honest, boys. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
But
please.
we don't have a lot of structure.
We don't.
We'll get structure as time goes on. We have an email address. I did slyly mention it earlier when I set up an email address, popcornandregret@gmail.com. Feel free to email questions, statements, thoughts, whether you think my voice or James's voice is sexier.
Yep.
Let it out.
We all know the answer.
Our friends have started the argument of Team Popcorn versus Team Regret.
Yep.
You are Popcorn and
Oh, I
apparently
am.
I am Regret.
Oh,
Well,
that's nice.
I was asked which one I was, and I said
see.
I'm definitely Regret.
I see.
But, you know, tell us which one you think has a sexier voice. Let us know. Ask us some questions.
Follow
Tell
us on social media.
Tell us some. Honestly, we need something for this section. So just anything.
Message
email
us
anything.
anywhere. Find us anywhere.
Email us a recipe.
Hunt us down.
Email us a recipe for some kung pao chicken.
And we'll try it.
We'll
it.
do it. We'll read it out step by step.
We can't
on
be
here.
stopped.
We'll do it. Yeah. So email us there. You can follow us on social media at Adam_Riding. That's RYDING. Sorry that my name is awkward. And at James M Deacon. James. At Popcorn and Regret on Instagram, and should be on Twitter. I'll be honest, I haven't got around to doing that yet.
That's all right. I can do
we
it.
will have a Twitter.
Yeah. And we'll be tweeting all the time. Who knows?
And then I do have a Twitter. Don't follow it. I don't use Twitter. I'm not a fan of it. I follow Fortnite, FIFA, and Alan St. Maximan. He's a Newcastle United football player. Those are the three people I follow on Twitter, because I just because I play Fortnite and I like to know when things get added. I used to play FIFA, and I like Alan. He's funny.
Well, thank you for your Twitter.
Yeah, it was you know, yeah. Follow Alan St. Maximan. He's good. I mean, if you know nothing about football, you probably don't care. So don't follow him. Just do what you want. Fuck off.
Well, thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you.
And,
So hopefully,
see you next episode.
Hopefully you will hear this one. Hopefully I will stop this episode. The recording will be saved, and you will be listening to it.
That's right.
If not, you'll be able to hear me scream from wherever you are. You'll hear it.
You'll wake up.
But you'll know it's what it is.
All right.
Okay. Well, that was it. I've been Adam, and he's been James, and as we say at the end of every episode of Popcorn and Regret.
That's good.
Oh,
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 Good.
Oh,